The Season 6 Crucible Pinnacle weapon is a viced 900 RPM lightweight SMG called Recluse, and this weapon might just be what SMGs needed to be more relevant in the current meta of the Crucible, as this is one of the most powerful SMGs and powerful weapons I've used in all of Destiny 2. Let's start off by taking a look at the key perks on the weapon. Firstly, it's got ricochet rounds, so this gives it increased stability, and bullets of course that ricochet off of walls, but more than anything, it gives it a rangefinder style boost to range, which is very valuable on an SMG. It also has feeding frenzy, so it gives you faster reloads after kills, and its signature perk, Master of Arms, so kills with any weapon improve this weapon's damage for a short period of time. It's also worth mentioning that this weapon comes with a range masterwork, which is very good because range is very important on SMGs to give them more versatility and more usage at longer ranges, considering they're pretty short range weapons. As for the stats on this SMG, it has 15 impact. Like I said, it's a lightweight 900 RPM SMG. It's got 54 range, 70 stability, 67 handling, 35 reload, 55 aim assist, 100 recoil direction, and 36 bullets in the mag. So overall, a really great combination of stats with a good combination of stability and range. When using the Recluse, you can expect to have about 18.5 meters before you start seeing damage drop off. And the sights on the weapon look to be a little on the lower zoom side, at least compared to the well-known Antiope's medium zoom sights. This was a bit disappointing to me because I think if this weapon had more medium zoom sights or higher zoom sights as a whole, it could be insanely good and a pretty dominant weapon even against some hand cannons, although it lacks some versatility against something like the Not Forgotten. Of course, it's still great and very powerful, but I think if it had medium zoom sights rather than shorter zoom sights, it would be perfect. The stability on this weapon felt pretty good, and the recoil felt pretty manageable and quite consistent and controllable, which made this weapon a pleasure to use within its optimal range. The 100 recoil direction felt really great, and I think in my opinion it gives this weapon not much of a need for a counterbalance mod, maybe like some other SMGs. For our time to kill on this lightweight SMG, it's 10 crit to body in 0.73 seconds, or 18 body for the base time to kill in 1.13 seconds. However, that's not considering the Master of Arms perk, the main perk on this weapon, so let's break that down really quick. For the Master of Arms perk, a kill with a weapon other than the Recluse activates a buff called Master of Arms, and it lasts 3 seconds. Swapping to Recluse within that 3-second period will activate another Master of Arms buff, except this time with a 5-second counter, starting at 4 and including 0 as the last second. This increases the damage of Recluse to 25 critical damage and 25 body damage, so they're the same. It doesn't matter where you hit when you have this perk active. That's 1.3 times the regular critical damage, similar to something like Kill Clip, but 2.27 times the body damage. So it doesn't matter if you hit the body or the head, so long as you're landing your shots, you are dealing 25 damage per bullet. The Master of Arms perk can also be activated from getting kills with the Recluse and activates immediately, similarly to something like Rampage. Kills while the Master of Arms buff is active resets the timer of the buff and allows you to chain it effectively, unlike something like Kill Clip. And Feeding Frenzy synergizes with this perk to make reloads very quick and chaining the perk easier. With the Master of Arms buff active, the TTK of the weapon, or time to kill of the weapon, is 0.46 seconds, taking 8 bullets regardless of if you hit the head or body. So as long as you're landing your shots, you'll kill in 8 bullets. I think this weapon is incredibly powerful and a lot of fun to use. It opens up a lot of really cool combos, including things like double primary, or even pairing a sniper with this, something like the Izanagi's Burden, using this weapon like somewhat of a last word style counterpart. Another kind of fun loadout with double primaries that you can use is something like Sturm in this, so you can get a kill with Sturm, and then it'll buff the damage on the SMG, and a kill from the SMG will slightly buff the damage on Sturm to be able to 2-tap some resiliences as well, so that could be a fun combo. I think this SMG opens up a lot. Like I said, I think this is exactly what SMGs needed, and this SMG will bring SMGs the closest possible, in my opinion, to being competitive in the current sandbox, even in the face of shotguns, the last word, sidearms, and more. Using this as a main primary weapon though, in combination with a shotgun or a sniper, is still pretty risky compared to something like a hand cannon, mostly the Luna or the Not Forgotten, because the Luna and Not Forgotten and hand cannons in general have so much versatility and are high DPS weapons, which makes them very good for playing cover, and that's something that a lot of really great players will do. They won't overexpose themselves, and of course SMGs are a full auto weapon, so it requires you to commit to the fight for a lot longer, and they aren't so good against someone playing cover. That being said, if it's worth it to you and you can take the risk to get a sniper pick, then swapping to this weapon will give you enough DPS to melt most hand cannon users and even counter some shotgun users. I think there's a lot of potential combos to use with this weapon, and it's going to be a lot of fun to figure out what those are and some fun builds and competitive builds with this weapon, and I think this weapon has some potential to hang on a competitive level. I did forget to mention the mods I like using on this weapon, and so far I've been using a backup mag. I find it really useful to have a healthy amount of bullets in the reserves after getting a kill, because again, this will trigger just like Rampage does, where you don't need to reload and you can get a kill, and if you can do that, you can keep the buff active again, reload, and move on to the next target. So I found that very useful. I'm sure there are some other mods. Targeting adjuster is never a bad mod either. A hipfire mod could also be pretty useful, but I think I can say that a counterbalance mod isn't so useful considering it has 100 recoil direction already. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you'd like to see more content, you can check me out on Twitch. Link in the description. It's twitch.tv/drewskis. I'd greatly appreciate it if you can check it out. But either way, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.